question posed concerns the amendment made by the Wisconsin Department of Commerce regarding NEC 300.4D, which deals with the protection of electrical wiring systems from physical damage. It's puzzling why this specific section of the National Electrical Code was removed from the state's amendments, as it seems crucial for ensuring electrical safety. Limiting or removing physical protection for electrical wiring inherently increases the risk of damage, potentially leading to electrical hazards and compromising the safety of the general public. Several possible reasons could explain this decision. One possibility is a miscommunication between the state of Wisconsin and the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, the organization responsible for developing and publishing the NEC. Perhaps there was a misunderstanding during the adoption process, leading to the unintentional omission of this section. Another possibility is that Wisconsin has specific circumstances or unique situations within its electrical infrastructure that might, in the state's view, make Section 300.4D unnecessary or even counterproductive. It's conceivable that there are existing regulations or practices in place that the state believes adequately address the concerns covered by this section of the NEC. However, it's important to emphasize that without direct clarification from the Wisconsin Department of Commerce, these are purely speculative explanations. To obtain a definitive answer, it is recommended to contact the Wisconsin Department of Commerce directly. They would be the most reliable source for understanding the reasoning behind this specific amendment to the state's electrical code. They should be able to provide insight into the factors that influenced their decision and offer a clear explanation of their perspective on this matter. The NEC, or National Electrical Code, is a comprehensive set of standards and guidelines designed to ensure the safe installation and maintenance of electrical systems. It covers a wide range of topics from wiring methods and overcurrent protection to grounding and equipment installation. The NEC is updated every 3 years by the NFPA, reflecting advancements in technology, changes in industry practices, and lessons learned from past incidents. State and local jurisdictions often adopt the NEC as the basis for their electrical codes, sometimes with amendments to address specific local needs or conditions. Section 300.4 of the NEC focuses on protecting electrical wiring and cables from physical damage. This section addresses various potential sources of damage, such as impact, abrasion, and penetration. Subsection 300.4d, specifically the portion in question, likely deals with a particular aspect of physical protection, such as the use of specific types of raceways, cable trays, or protective coverings in certain locations or applications. The exact requirements of 300.4d would need to be reviewed in the 2002 NEC to fully understand its scope. The importance of physical protection for electrical wiring cannot be overstated. Damaged wiring can lead to a variety of problems, including short circuits, ground faults, and electrical fires. These problems can pose serious risks to people and property. Therefore, it is essential to follow the requirements of the NEC and any applicable local amendments to ensure that electrical wiring systems are adequately protected from physical damage. When installing electrical wiring, it is important to consider the environment in which the wiring will be located. Wiring in exposed locations, such as outdoors or in industrial settings, is more susceptible to physical damage than wiring in protected locations, such as inside walls or ceilings. In areas where wiring is likely to be exposed to physical damage, it is important to use appropriate wiring methods and materials. For example, rigid metal conduit or electrical metallic tubing, or EMT, can provide excellent protection against impact and abrasion. Cable trays can be used to support and protect large runs of cables in industrial and commercial settings. In some cases, it may be necessary to install additional protective measures, such as guards or barriers, to prevent damage from vehicles or equipment. It is also important to properly support and secure electrical wiring to prevent it from sagging or rubbing against other objects. Unsupported wiring can be easily damaged, especially in areas where there is vibration or movement. In addition to physical protection, it is also important to protect electrical wiring from environmental factors such as moisture, chemicals, and extreme temperatures. Moisture can cause corrosion and deterioration of wiring, leading to short circuits and ground faults. Chemicals can also damage wiring, especially certain types of insulation. Extreme temperatures can cause wiring to become brittle or expand and contract, potentially leading to cracks or breaks. The NEC contains specific requirements for protecting electrical wiring from these environmental factors. For example, the NEC specifies the types of wiring that are suitable for use in wet or damp locations. It also specifies the types of wiring that are resistant to chemicals. It is important to follow these requirements to ensure that electrical wiring systems are able to withstand the environmental conditions to which they will be exposed. Overcurrent protection is another essential aspect of electrical safety. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to interrupt the flow of electricity in the event of an overload or short circuit. Overloads occur when too much current is flowing through a circuit. Short circuits occur when there is an unintended connection between two conductors. Both overloads and short circuits can cause wiring to overheat, potentially leading to fires. Overcurrent protection devices are designed to prevent this from happening by quickly interrupting the flow of electricity. The NEC specifies the types and sizes of overcurrent protection devices that are required for different types of circuits. It is important to follow these requirements to ensure that electrical circuits are properly protected from overloads and short circuits. Grounding is another critical aspect of electrical safety. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source of electricity in the event of a ground fault. A ground fault occurs when a live conductor comes into contact with a grounded surface, such as a metal enclosure or a water pipe. Without grounding, fault current could flow through a person who comes into contact with the grounded surface, resulting in a severe electrical shock. The NEC specifies the requirements for grounding electrical systems and equipment. It is important to follow these requirements to ensure that electrical systems are properly grounded and that people are protected from electrical shock. Proper installation and maintenance of electrical systems are essential for ensuring electrical safety. Electrical work should only be performed by qualified electricians who are familiar with the NEC and local electrical codes. Electrical systems should be regularly inspected and maintained to identify and correct any potential problems. Ignoring seemingly minor issues can often lead to more significant problems later on. When working on electrical systems, it is important to always energize the circuit before starting any work. This can be done by turning off the circuit breaker or removing the fuse that supplies power to the circuit. It is also important to use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as insulated gloves and safety glasses. Electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following the requirements of the NEC and local electrical codes, and by taking appropriate safety precautions, you can help to prevent electrical accidents and protect yourself and others from electrical hazards. Some additional thoughts on the Wisconsin Amendment. The deletion of NEC Section 300.4d could have unintended consequences. For example, it might create confusion among electrical contractors and inspectors who may be unsure of the requirements for protecting electrical wiring from physical damage. It could also lead to inconsistencies in electrical installations across the state, as different contractors may interpret the requirements differently. Furthermore, the deletion of this section could potentially increase the liability of electrical contractors and property owners in the event of an electrical accident. If an accident occurs due to damaged wiring, and it is determined that the wiring was not adequately protected from physical damage, the contractor or property owner could be held liable for damages. For these reasons, it is important for the Wisconsin Department of Commerce to carefully consider the potential consequences of deleting NEC Section 300.4d and to provide clear guidance to electrical contractors and inspectors on the requirements for protecting electrical wiring from physical damage. In any case, it is always a good idea to follow the best practices for electrical safety, even if they are not explicitly required by law. This includes protecting electrical wiring from physical damage, using appropriate wiring methods and materials, and properly grounding electrical systems and equipment. By taking these precautions, you can help to ensure the safety of yourself and others from electrical hazards. Also, while seemingly stupid at best to not accept this requirement, the process for amending or modifying a code like the NEC is complex and varies by jurisdiction. Generally, it involves a review by a committee or board of experts who consider various factors, including local conditions, cost-benefit analyses, and potential impacts on safety and industry practices. Public input is often solicited during this process. To find out more specifics on changes, reviewing the meeting minutes and supporting documents from the Wisconsin Department of Commerce's review process could shed light on the rationale behind this decision. It is also important to note that even though Wisconsin may have amended this specific section, other sections of the NEC and other state or local regulations may still address the issue of physical damage protection for electrical wiring. It's essential to have a comprehensive understanding of all applicable codes and regulations when designing and installing electrical systems. Furthermore, the NEC is not a static document. It is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology, industry practices, and safety concerns. It is possible that the Wisconsin Department of Commerce is planning to address this issue in a future amendment, perhaps by adopting a revised version of Section 300.4D or by incorporating new requirements for physical damage protection elsewhere in the state's electrical code. In conclusion, while the reason for Wisconsin's amendment of NEC Section 300.4D remains unclear without direct clarification from the responsible authorities, understanding the broader context of electrical codes, safety practices, and the amendment process is crucial for navigating such situations effectively. Always prioritize safety and consult with qualified professionals when in doubt.